Hey, hello everyone. I'm Pranav. Thanks for joining me. Today I'll be talking about designing AI-centric products, lessons learned from hotel booking platforms. The subtitle here is Translating the Technical Concept of MCP into Product Opportunities, Differentiation, and User Trust. That sounds like a mouthful, but here's the idea. I'm not here to walk you through a protocol spec. I'm here to show how something technical, MCP, can directly shape product design, customer experience, and even strategy. Think of it as a bridge between engineering concepts and product opportunities. So, here's how I've structured the talk. First, we look at the customer journey in hotel booking and why it matters. This is where we'll see the friction that makes AI first design worth exploring. And second, we'll go into the technical core. So I'll explain what an MCP is in product terms using analogies and concrete examples. This is going to be the longest part because I want you to come away with a clear mental model of MCP and AI first design. And third, we'll zoom out to strategy and lessons for product leaders, how this approach helps with experimentation. It differentiates your product and builds trust, and what are the pitfalls to watch out for. So journey, technical core, and strategy, that's the flow. um, so why hotels? Why not e-commerce, fintech, or other industry? So hotels make a perfect test case for three different reasons. First, the market is incredibly competitive. Everyone has access to the same inventory. The only way to stand out is through product experience. That makes it a great space for testing out new ideas. Second, the decision is complex. So you're not just choosing based on price. You're weighing location, reviews, photos, cancellation policies, loyalty points, hidden fees. It's a multi-signal decision. And third, it's trust sensitive. So if you book a hotel and it turns out to be noisy or misleading, you'll probably never trust that platform again. So customer wants evidence, not just recommendations. So you'll have to uh, so we've got this competition, complexity, and trust. That's why hotels are a perfect lens for AI first product design. If we can design for this journey, we can apply the same lessons in many other industries. And for me, it's personal too. At MiStay, we introduced slot based bookings, letting people book by the hour instead of the night. So that small change opened up entirely new segments. It showed me how powerful it can be to rethink the booking journey. That's the same spirit I want to bring here with MCP. The current journey and pain. So, the way the hotel booking looks today seems straightforward. You filter, compare, validate, and then commit. But in reality, it's messy. Customers don't move in a straight line, so they loop back and forth. They filter by budget, compare photos, adjust filters again, dive into reviews, open new tabs. It's a lot of work. Take this example. Find me a hotel under 2000 rupees in a quiet neighborhood near a metro with early check in. None of that is strange, but the moment you combine them, the system breaks down. So individually, looking at price, that's easy, just a filter. Quiet, that means reading through a lot of reviews and seeing if anyone has raised issues about how noisy it is. Near a metro, usually you open up Google Maps, check out the distance between metro and the hotels, and that you have selected. Early check-in, you go through the policies of the hotel and see if it is listed. So customer does a lot of stitching here, and on the team side, every time a new intent shows up, it means a new feature request, another filter that needs to get added, a new orchestration logic, more UI. So it's a lot reactive, costly, and almost never ending. Here is the key insight: customer thinks in terms of intents, not in filters. So our systems are not really designed in that way. So we still force them to filter first journeys, and that's the gap. That's exactly where AI first design and MCP can really make a difference. MCP or Model Context Protocol, it sounds technical, but here's the simplest way to think about it. It's like USB-C for AI. USB-C did not replace your devices. It didn't generate electricity out of thin air. It just gave a standard connector. Suddenly, say laptops, phones, headphones, all plugged in the same way. MCP plays the same role. It gives AI a consistent way to connect your product capabilities. It doesn't replace your backend, and it's not magic. Instead, it makes things you already have, like hotel search, availability checks, and then pricing calculation, all those AI consumable. So instead of wiring new flows every time a user has a new request, you expose what your system already does. Then AI can call those capabilities as needed. It's plumbing, but powerful plumbing, because it decouples the AI layer from your backend implementation. Capability in MCP is like a contract. So it defines what input it takes and what output it returns, and crucially, the reasons behind those outputs. So take search hotels as an example. So input could be locality, max price, amenities, and the output is a list of hotels. But along with each of those hotels, you also attach a reason. Matches budget, near metro, has Wi-Fi. Um, or look at analyze reviews. Inputs are hotel ID and a keyword, like say quiet. The output may be 80% of the reviews mention quietness, plus 2 or 3 quotes from the actual guess. So the reasons part is the difference between a black box answer and a trustworthy one. If the AI just says that here's the best hotel, you might not believe it. But if it says that here's the best hotel because it's under your budget, close to the metro, and 80% of the reviews mention it's quiet, in that case you're much more likely to trust it. So a capability isn't just data, it's data plus explanation packaged so that AI can use it responsibly. Now imagine you've got multiple capabilities. How does the AI know what's available? That's where the schema comes in. Think of it like a catalog. It lists every capability, or what it is called, what it does, what input and output it expects, and does it have any constraints. So the AI can then discover what tools exist, query them, and execute them. No one has to say hard code, first call search, then call review. The AI makes that decision dynamically based on the schema. Each capability also comes with metadata and guardrails. Maybe you specify that one is read only, or has a maximum result size, or requires authentication. So if you this sort of helps keep the system safe. If you like analogies, think of it like Lego blocks. So each capability is like a block with standard connectors, and AI is the builder. It can snap blocks together in new ways, but only because they have been designed with consistent, safe edges. Here's the practical bit: you don't need to rebuild your backend. So most product already have APIs: search, availability, pricing, bookings. So your MCP would want to wrap those existing APIs as capabilities. That wrapper defines the contract and adds reasons, but under the hood, it calls the same service you have always had. This gives 3 big benefits. First, separation of concerns. Your backend stays focused on its core job, MCP just adapts it for AI. Second, flexibility. You can change what's behind the scenes, maybe swap providers or upgrade your algorithm. But as long as the contract stays the same and AI doesn't, and in that case, AI doesn't break. And third, safety. So you decide what is exposed. Maybe you expose read only queries, but not actions like refunds. You are in control. So integration isn't about ripping things out, it's about packaging your existing strengths so that AI can actually consume and start using them. Let's bring this to life with an example. The customer asks, find me a quiet hotel under 2000 rupees near Indiranagar Metro. The AI then breaks that down. Price and location, that'll map to the search hotels. It calls that and gets a shortlist. Quietness, that's analyze answers. So it calls that for each hotel and checks the match ratio and then it pulls few quotes. It then assembles the answers. It'll be like, say, Hotel Sunshine is 1800 rupees, 400 meters from Indiranagar Metro, and 70% of the reviewers described it as quiet. One review says, very peaceful, away from traffic. This actually feels like magic to the user, but really it's just composition. The AI chained together existing blocks, search and review analysis, and then explained the result. The key is no one pre-coded a quiet near metro filter. The AI created it on the fly because the capabilities were already available. Letting an AI call functions autonomously sounds really risky. That's why guardrails and observability matter. First, scope. Only expose what you're comfortable with. Searches and reads, fine. But refunds and deletes, maybe not. Keep the toolbox safe. Second, limits. Apply the same guardrails you'd use for any API. Rate limits, timeouts, size gaps. That prevents any runway calls and protects performance. Third, evidence. Always include reasons in the outputs. That keeps answers explainable and not opaque. Finally, observability. Log every capability that you're calling. What was called, what was the input, what was the output, and then add few golden tests so that you can feed known inputs and check that output stays consistent. Think of the AI like a power user. It's fast, it's tireless, but it still has to operate within the same guard rules as any other user. That's how you make this safe and reliable. Let me zoom out to the product upside. First, speed of experimentation. Once your capabilities are exposed, you don't need to pre-wire every new flow. When a fresh user intent shows up, the AI can compose what you already have. That means you can test ideas in days and not months. It's the difference between adding a whole new feature and just exposing a block you have already built. Second is user experience. People don't want 20 panels, they want an answer that reflects their intent plus the reasons. Price, distance, review sentiments, policy highlights. If those are surfaced together, decision time drops and the confidence in your product increases. Third is differentiation. So you've got unique blocks, say slot based stays, corporate rates, curated neighborhood guides. So MCP lets the AI use them in the right way. Competitors would be able to copy the UI, but it's harder to copy the capability mix and the quality of your underlying blocks. For this trust, when every answer carries a why, a review code, a distance, a policy snippet, users feel informed and not pushed. That transparency is the difference between nice recommendation and I'm comfortable booking right away. In terms of metrics, shift your dashboard slightly. Track time to answer, say what's the time between first query to the confident pick by the user. Conversion with explanations turned on, and with explanations turned off. Uh, Track your cancellations due to mismatches, and also track your support call volumes. Is there an increase? So if those four move in the right direction, you know that AI-centric approach is like working quite well for your customers and business. Now the cautions, because this only works if the foundations are solid. First, AI isn't magic. If a capability is flaky, AI will faithfully amplify that flakiness. So weak blocks will result in weaker answers. So keep improving your foundation, that is search quality, availability, accuracy, review parsing. The usual craft still matters. Second, watch out for any capability sprawl. It's tempting to publish everything that you have as a capability, but you shouldn't. Maintain a catalog with clear descriptions and assign honors and version contracts. You should look at increasing number of capabilities that you're publishing and retire any duplicates, and make sure that you treat capabilities like public APIs, curated and well maintained. Third, avoid opaque answers. If the output doesn't include reasons, the AI has nothing trustworthy to show. Explanations aren't a nice to have, they are the product. Fourth, guard against prompt and output drifts. Changes in prompts, models, or downstream services can subtly shift the behavior. Use the golden test that we spoke about earlier for common intents, and trace capability calls end to end. If something moves, you'll see it. Fifth, mind costs and latency. It could exponentially increase based on how you build out your system. So make sure that you cap result sizes, cache popular queries, and pre-compute all the durable signals like, say, review segment by keyword. Keep the contracts really compact, small in and small out, so that the AI stays really snappy. And finally, safety. Scope what the AI can do and start with maybe read only, add authentication, rate limits, and timeouts. Treat the AI like a power user operating under rules. The goal is controlled flexibility, not a free for all. So let me bring it home. Customers don't think in filters, they think in intents. Quiet, near metro, under a budget, early check in. Our job is to answer that cleanly. MCP is a bridge, it doesn't replace your backend, it makes your existing strengths AI consumable. When the blocks are solid and explainable, the AI can then compose them into answers, and that feels effortless. So the mindset shift is quite simple. So don't design screens, instead design capabilities that are like blocks with clear inputs, compact outputs, and built-in reasons. Once those exist, the experiences almost design themselves. So if you want a Monday plan, pick two real intents your users struggle with. Maybe define then three read-only capabilities that will help answer them. Ensure each of them return reasons. Roll it out behind a flag. Measure the time to answer, the conversion and cancellations due to mismatch, and support tickets about surprises. That small slice will tell you if you're on the right track. Thanks for staying with me through the talk. I hope this gives you a practical way to bring AI into your product, not as a demo, but as a durable advantage. Thank you.